challenges of watching today's play was trying to keep up with all the records that you guys were breaking. What was it like to be part of such an extraordinary day of batting?
Yeah, well, we didn't know about all the records until Mark Nicholas started saying we've broken a few. So Trolly and I might have to start digging to see what we have achieved. But look, it's been a fantastic couple of days. Obviously, the pitch was amazing to bat on and got better and better. So the conditions were in our favour, but we still got to go and get them.
Andrew, in light of the second test coming so quickly in particular, what do you take as a team from the performance here?
Well, we take a huge amount, there's no doubt about it. We did some very good things with the ball. Some of our bowlers, I don't think were rewarded quite for how well they bowled. But also just the resilience to come back into the game, having been in a pretty dire position after day 3, speaks volumes for the characters of the likes of Cookie and Trotty, but also just... I think we've proved over a while now that we're a hard side to beat, and that gives us more confidence going forward.
Did you say, Andrew, there that it was the best innings you'd seen from an England player?
Yeah, definitely. And, I'm not great on my cricketing history, but I'd be hard-pressed to think of a better innings in Australia. It must have been a long time ago, the last guy who batted as well as Cookie did. The situation he came in... the concentration to see it through for such a long period of time, it's one of the really special innings from an England player.
So do you think you go on to Adelaide now with a slight advantage over there?
Well, it's all this kind of momentum chat again. I mean, I don't know if who takes the momentum. I think it's just great that we came back into the game and managed to get a draw out of it and finish the game so strongly. 2 sets of players haven't got a long turnaround before Adelaide, and both sets of players would be very keen to come out strong in that first morning at Adelaide. Everyone talks about how important the first test match is here in Australia at Brisbane, so to get through that unscathed from the position we're in was a great effort, although clearly we would have liked to have won the game.
Andrew, I guess one of the things you want to address is first innings totals. If you look back on this match, that's the one thing we didn't do that you said you wanted.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, I think it was a pretty good toss to win. And we did some very good stuff. I mean, the first day of an Ashes series is always hard work mentally. I think we did some pretty good stuff to come back after losing a wicket in the first over. And Ian Bell played exceptionally well. Cookie played well. But Peter Siddle knocked the stuffing out of us. There's no doubt about it with his hat trick. And from then on, we were kind of behind the game a bit until the end of day 3.
But I guess if England to win the Ashes here, you've got to post higher than 400.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully our 517 for one's gone some way to improve our confidence in doing that.
When you started that second innings, you had 220, as you say, this is normally a pivotal match in the series. How confident were you that you could do something like this and get out of trouble with it? How much was the pressure on that one?
Well, I think Hussey and Haddon showed us that it was possible to bat on the wicket, no doubt about that. And at that stage of the game, it looked like it was a big new ball wicket. If you get through the new ball, it got a lot easier. So Cookie and I had to work hard that third evening, and then things got a little bit easier on the fourth morning.
Alastair, how do you sort of tally the guy who last summer was scratching around, and by your own admission was perhaps one match away from being left out of the side, somebody that makes 230 against Australia?
It's cricket, isn't it? It's amazing how quickly it turns around, and it's one of those things where if you keep working at the right things and probably more importantly keep believing that you're a good player, that you get your results, and and these days make those dark days in Pakistan feel along against Pakistan make these extra special. So look, it's a great confidence that 100 I scored at the Oval, and then to back it up here is very pleasing. But we start again very quickly on Friday, so a quick turnaround, and hopefully I can start again in Adelaide.
Have you actually changed much technically?
No, probably not a huge amount. Obviously, a little bit. Obviously, between the second and third Test match, if you went back and watched the techniques there, it probably changed a little bit back, as I said a couple of days ago, back to what I had been doing before. But it's not a huge amount. It just shows what a mental game, especially out in the batting, is.
Andrew, this is your 4th Ashes series. Can you remember of any game in which the Australians looked so downbeat in the field as they have done the last 2 days?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look, it's the first game of the series, so you know, when sides have lost the Ashes, they've been pretty downbeat. But you know, I think you've got to realise that it's hard work when you spend a long time in the field. It was hard work for us in that Australia's first innings. It was hard work for them in our second innings, and that's the way the series is going to be. I've got no doubt about it. There are going to be times when one side and another's in the ascendancy. When you are in the ascendancy, you've got to take your chance, and when you're not, you've got to fight to get back into it, and we were able to do that well in this Test match.
Ben, thanks.
Andrew, is there a piece of you that sort of was tempted to go clear and just keep Australia out there all day and completely fry them?
No, not really. I mean, I think we felt, even though it was a very, very small chance of forcing a win, it was worth trying. And if we got 1 or 2 wickets out along the way, then obviously that's a little bit of a psychological blow as well. So, yeah, the wicket was very flat all the fifth day. We weren't able to force much with the ball, but yeah, we're happy with where we are and we look forward to Adelaide.
Once you got that 100, how focused and determined were you to go and get really big scores?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things I haven't really done. That was my first class double 100 as well. So, you know, it's you know, a lot of text messages last night saying make sure you make it a daddy 100. So, I think that's pretty much a daddy 100.
Up the back, thanks.
Andrew, further to Finn's question, apart from winning the game, did you have any thought to keeping Australia out there and grinding the dust and hoping to bat first on Friday?
Well, yeah, I think I kind of answered that question, was that we felt if there was even an outside chance of forcing a win, we should try and do it. You know, the Australians have spent a long time in the field, and probably if they'd stayed out there, they probably just would have bowled a couple of spinners anyway. So, yeah, we're looking forward to you know, hopefully we can win the toss in Adelaide, and we'll see how things progress from there.
Andrew and then Jesse.
Alastair, Strauss, you touched on the sort of the pressures and the nerves that were going around on that first day. How was it for you at the other end with everything that was going on, and how important do you think it was to get through that and compared to the pressures you had on this final day? How does that bode for the rest of the series?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that first day of any series, but especially an Ashes series in Australia, you know, the night before I was probably the most nervous I've ever been, and the drive into the ground, you know, everything about it, the hype, the national anthems, it's a very nerve-wracking time, and it gave me a lot of confidence to get through that first, you know, 2 hours, and you know, I hadn't done it in the last 2 Ashes series, so to get through that first to lunch, and you know, I was very disappointed in that change room when I got out for 60 odd, because you do all the hard work, and in that last session, you know, it's almost a time to try and cash in, and obviously Peter Siddle bowled very well, but you know, it was very frustrating. I was just ultra determined if I did get in again to make it count, and yeah, luckily I did.
Jesse.
Andrew, will you consider it a victory if Australia make changes to their first choice team after just 1 test in this series?
No, I mean, you know, we're not in the habit of worrying too much about the opposition, to be honest with you. The only victories that count are on the pitch.
Andrew, how important was it for Jonathan Trott to get as well today? His last time South Africa was so easy for him, and he's in such a key position.
Well, you know, I think it's always important to get runs early in any series. Jonathan Trott's been in outstanding form for us over the English summer, and yeah, I think we all expected him to play well this series as well. So, yeah, it would have given him confidence, and you know, he's a bit of a linchpin for us at number 3, and hopefully he'll get more runs for us as well.
Alastair, did you have any role at all when Ricky appealed for the catch off you and then it went up to the third umpire?
No, not really. I wasn't sure what happened. I wasn't sure whether it carried or not. So, look, we're perfectly entitled to stand your ground and you know, wait for the decision. So, look, I wasn't totally sure. I don't think Ricky was totally sure either. So, look, I was going to wait, and obviously if I was given out, I was given out.
Andrew, this is a positive result for England after what's happened here last 2 times. Is there more self-belief that you can win the Ashes here now from this Test match?
Yeah, look, I think there was a lot of self-belief at the start of the series, but you know, as I said before, everyone talks about the Brisbane Test and how important it is. So at the end of day 3, it wasn't looking good for us, and to come back in the match and draw it, you know, we've got a lot of belief that we can go on and win this series from here.
You talked in the past about how a draw is not always a draw. One team feels a little better than the other. Do you think you can come out of this feeling a bit better than just a draw?
well, from where we are at the end of day 3, no doubt. I mean, there'll be a spring in our step going to Adelaide, but you've got to transfer that onto the pitch. It's all very well, strutting around the hotel lobby, feeling good about yourself. You need to make sure that turns into runs and wickets.
Andrew, from what you've seen of the Australian bowlers, do you feel as though you know how to play them there?
Well, we faced those guys before, so I don't think we've seen anything that we hadn't seen before. Obviously, Doherty we hadn't seen, so the guys got a good look at him. But they're dangerous, and when the conditions are in their favour, they're definitely a very hard bowling attack to contend with. So I don't think anything's changed really.
Chris, thanks.
Andrew, England have had some pretty momentous draws in the last 18 months. I wonder where this ranks compared to Cardiff and Cape Town.
Well, I suppose there's more drama at Cardiff and Cape Town because we took it so close to the wire. But in some ways, this is, from the end of day 3, it was a better performance really. So all of them we had to show a lot of resilience. In those other Test matches, it was the lower order and the middle order that got us out of trouble. This time it was the top order that were able to do it. So the more of those sort of performances we get from 1 to 11 in the team, I suppose the more confidence it gives you to do it again.
So you take more confidence from this draw than, say, Cardiff?
I don't know. I mean, ultimately, Cardiff was definitely like we used our get out of jail card free. This time, we came out with a good solid draw in the end. So none of it counts for anything unless we take advantage of it in Adelaide.
Last one, Colin.
Do you hit Adelaide with a clean bill of health?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thanks very much.